I know it's been a while since I did a weaving video for you. With everything going on, it's been kind of crazy. Today is the perfect day to do this. I'm going to show you the basics of a rectangle continuous strand weaving loom. This loom happens to be from Hideaway Homestead, and it is 6 by 24, and it is intended to be a travel loom or a teacher's loom, and or because it's small, it can break down and be, you can put it in your luggage and bring it with you, and you can weave smaller projects on it and keep yourself really happy. So let me back up a little bit. For the 6 comes from the nails on the end, the short ends. So I have a ruler here. Let's see, turn it over. 6 inches is right here, and that's where we measure nail to nail, top to bottom, 6 inches, and then 24, it's about 24 and a half actually, to go down to this nail all the way to this end. All right, so if you haven't worked with a rectangular continuous strand loom before, the basic idea is it's broken down in squares, which makes you kind of see the pattern a little better. This particular one has 20 nails down one side, the short side, and you start to count 20 over, including that corner nail again, and you end up with, there's a mark here. Hopefully the loom that you have has a mark on it. That constitutes the first square. So if I put this ruler here, maybe you can see the square a little better. See, I come down, that's where we're going to work, from the corner down across the diagonal, and then we're going to go back up the next square, which is right here. So we had one here. Let's see if I can put one here. Doesn't want to stay, but anyway, square, square. This one happens to have 4 squares. 20 nails, 20 more nails, 20 more nails to there, and then 20 nails to the end. This loom actually can be reduced in length. This width is going to stay the same on this loom. These nails and this beam here can be moved down to the nail. There's holes here and there's holes here. I don't know if you can see them. See the holes in there? When you move it down to here, it's calculated so that now you've taken off 1 square, and now it's a 3 square loom. If you put it here, now it's a 2 square loom. And that way you can kind of see how you're weaving, because you're going to be weaving from corner to corner to corner to corner. If you have a square continuous strand weaving loom, it's exactly the same thing, except you keep moving farther down. So in this video, I want to show you how to get started and how the basic weaving goes. This piece here I wove with a size 5 bulky yarn. You can see it's a little bit thicker because my nails on here, let me see what my nails are. My nails are about 1/4 inch apart, and the little bit thicker yarn seems to work better on here. Doesn't really matter, you just have to watch it if you want a nice stiff fabric, or do you want something really light and lacy. But I just wanted to show you that when you take this off of here, it's going to shrink. So this shrunk up here and shrunk to here. When it's on the nails, it's all spread out nice and tight. If you don't pull tight when you're weaving, you don't want to pull it tight at all, but it will just sort of settle, and it makes this beautiful pattern. You'll have a beautiful pattern. Since this one's just a variegated yarn, it came out whatever it wanted to be, but it is going to be a plaid of sorts. This one here is a lighter yarn. It was a 4 medium yarn. It's another variegated. I think it's called Puzzle. I think it's from Walmart. But it's a lighter, thinner yarn, and you can see it shrunk a little bit more when I took it off of here, and it came out to, I measured it, 5 by 23 inches. This particular loom was made with the original thought was to, you weave one and then you weave another one, and then you're going to sew the two ends together on one end. When you open it up, you have one long thin scarf to wear, and that way when you bring it traveling, you can still work on these longer scarves, but you don't have to bring your huge loom with you. So I want to show you how this is all going to work, and we're going to get started here in a second. You need to have a comb. You need to have a hook of some sort. This hook is considered an Afghan hook or a Tunisian hook, nice and long. You want a good deep hook on the end. This one is Susan Bates, size 8 US or 5.0 millimeter. This one I really like a lot. I use it a lot, and you might have several lengths of them to use as you go, and you'll see why in a little bit. And of course you need some scissors, and you're going to need some yarn. So the yarn I decided on, I'm going to do 2 colors to show you how to change color. Oops. These are by Lion brand, Color Me Easy. I really like this yarn because it is a little, it's considered a 5, bulky. I don't know if you see the little number 5, bulky, but it's really not that bulky, and it's a little on the slick side, and it makes a really pretty fabric. So you can use whatever kind of yarn you want, but I'm going to use these 2 to help you see how to change color and what it does when you actually weave with 2 colors instead of that variegated one. So let me get set up, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started. Okay, like I said, we're going to start in this corner, and it's this one happens to be 4 squares. So we're going to start in the corner. We're going to come down to this corner of this square, up to this one, down to this one, and back up to here, and then we're going to turn around and go all the way back. We need to start on this top left corner, and the process I'm using is called right return method. I'm not sure if you've learned other ways. There's lots of videos out there on YouTube. This way, I love doing it this way. It's simple. It's easier on my hands. Everything about it is wonderful. So I want to show you how this works, and hopefully you'll find out that it's wonderful too. All right, here we go. We're going to start with some yarn. You want to keep a nice long end and make yourself a loop. And I'm going to come down here and get a little closer. There we go. We're going to start by, oops, I pulled my little loop out. There we go. Put a loop around the first one. Pull it snug. Okay. And then this little tail, you want to just keep it out of your way. Some people put a Velcro piece on the back, and it holds your yarn end out of your way. And that's a really good idea. This is really hard to do on a small camera here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start here. We're going to find our corner marked. That's right there. We're going to go around that one. Okay. Now we're going to come up to the next marked nail. It's right there. So we're kind of doing diagonals across our squares. Now we're going to come down to this marked one. All right. And now when we come up to this guy right in the corner, let me zoom back in. We're going to go to the right. All right, we're just going to go to the right around that nail. All right, and then here we go. We're going to have to bring it back down again. Here we go. Now we're going to stay to the right of this one and come straight down. You'll see that it's straight. If you went over this way, you'll see it crosses. You don't want to do that. So now we're going to go right here, And then we're going to bend around that nail, and then we're going to follow the path up, that guy out there, up to the right of this guy, the one that you used already. Okay, we need to hold it for now. Come follow it back down to the right of this one. You can hold them down if you need to. Okay, now when we come up to this corner, we're going to go to the right of the corner. Here, let me zoom in again. You can see what's going on. Now remember, this is the tail. We want the tail to hang over there. We're not going to weave or anything yet. Some other ones do that, but at this point we're not. We're going to just kind of hang on to it. Once we get past this point, it won't fall off. You don't want to pull really tight. Just enough to lay it right there to the right of that first nail, and then you're going to cross over to this nail, the first nail down. Okay, you're going to go around that guy. So you just went over the top. And now we're going to come back down to the nail right here to the left of this guy. And I want you to wrap it around, right? And then hold on to it. Okay. This is where you start weaving. You're going to take your hook. You're going to go over and under. You always go over the first one, go under the next one, and you're going to grab that one you're hanging on to and pull. See that? What you're doing is making a loop. And this is all one continuous strand. That's why it's called that. So when you get up here, I take it off my hook for a second. Now you can just see naturally it goes there. You don't want to come over here. Okay, so just go naturally to the next nail, and you're going to go around that nail. Going to go around it, and then just sort of hold it to the side for a second. And again, you're going to weave. You're going to go over this one, over the first, under the second, grab the new one. See that? All you did is pull it underneath this guy. And you're going to continue holding it. Bring it. Well, my hook's falling out of the loop. Okay. All the way down. You have to pull a little loose, okay? And then you're going to go to the next nail here, loop around, and just hang on to it. And you're going to weave again. You're going to go over and under, grab your working yarn, and now you're going to pull it up all the way up to the top. And you're going to loop around and hang on to it. All right, can you see that? You're going to weave one more time. So at each corner you're going to weave. You're going to go over the first one, under the second one, grab that one you're hanging on to, hook it over that next nail. So I don't know, can you see where I am? All right. Now this is where the magic goes, where we're going to grab that yarn. Okay, it's all one loop. I'm going to back up so you can see where we are. Let's go all the way back. So what we're going to do now, I usually use my hook. Now this is the yarn you've been dragging across. It's already woven in on the way back. That's the magic of it. So now you're going to come down, hook it over the next nail on the right of that one, because it's right return method. You're going to be on the right here. It's already woven in. Here. Zoop. See that? This is the one that you're pulling around. It's already been woven because it's the other side of that loop. Okay, we're going to go back all the way back out. Okay. we still have this strand. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to come up here, go around the nail to the right of that one. And then we still have this piece. Okay, we're still dragging it off of, it looks like a mess over here, but it'll settle pretty soon. You're going to pull this one down, and it's going to go around this next nail to the right of that. Okay. And now you're going to come up to the corner. Here, let me zoom in again. There we go. So this is the same loop. You're going to go around the nail to the right of this, the one on top that you just used, and then you're going to bring it down to the next nail below here. So you're going to be going across and down at the same time. So you're going to be going over and down and over and down and over and down. Okay, so that was your first round. So let's back up and show you what that looks like. Here we go. Okay. I know it's white on white, makes it kind of hard, but when I get the orange going, I have orange here, kind of a rust. That'll really show up. So it goes down and up and down and up, and goes around to the right and comes down to the right of the last nail and back to the right of that one, to the right of that one, to the right of that one. And now you're at the beginning. Now you're going to start all over again. If you're going to change colors, you do it all on this end. This is where your yarn's coming from. I'm going to put this guy under there. Maybe I can keep him out of the way. All right, here we go. Let's go around one more time. Let me zoom back in. All right. So all you're going to do is bring it down. Hold on, let me get these things out of the way. Okay. Down to this next nail. And you're going to wrap around the nail and hang on to it. See that? I'll put it at an angle so you can see it better. And we're going to weave. You're going to go over the first one, under the second one, over, under, and then you're going to grab that new one. Okay, did you see that? We'll see it on the next one if you didn't see that. Okay, here we come. We're going to bring it all the way up here. We're going to go around this nail and hang on to it. I'm going to weave right in here again. Over, under, over, under, and here's my working yarn. I'm going to grab that and pull it under. Oops, pull it through. Okay, and then we're going to come all the way. We're going to bring it all the way down here. We're going to go around this next nail. See, there it is. Over. You always go over the first one. And if you can't remember, I want you to look at where you are. You saw that this one's going over and that one's going under and that one's going over. You're going to do the opposite of whatever happened before. So if I go over this one and go under that one and over that one and under that one, I'm going to grab the new yarn and drag it. Oops, I'm getting hung up down there. Hold on. Okay, there we go. We're going to bring it all the way up here. We're going to go around this nail. Remember, don't be pulling too tight. Okay, let off. Because sometimes you get really tense when you're doing this and you're like, oh, and you pull too tight. And the more you pull tight, the more it's gonna shrink off your loom when you pull it off later. Okay, so I'm going over, under, grab the new one, hook it on the next nail. And there you go. See, can you see what's happening right there? Okay. Now we're going to take this loop and we're going to bring it. Okay, let me back up a little so you can see what's happening. All right, here we go. This is all one piece. That's why it's called continuous strand, because you don't have to cut anything. You just keep moving that one continuous strand. All right, see how it's already been woven in. The other half was already woven. So now I'm going to come up and go to the nail to the right. Remember, right return. Okay. And we're going to go down and we're going to go around this next nail and see those are already woven in. And then we're going to come up to the top, go over that nail to the right of the last one, and then get ready to go over the next nail. So this is where we are now. Okay. Okay. Now, this you can start now or in a little bit. You take your comb and you kind of comb things so that they stay nice and even. Doesn't seem to be at a point right now where you really need to do that as much, but as you go, you're going to keep wanting to comb it a little bit, just enough to pull and make everything nice and even. You'll see as you go, you'll have more and more to comb, but right now you're just kind of packing it in so it's nice and even. So here we go. I'm just going to do it. See, can you see the whole thing? I'm just going to do it and you just watch. All right, so we're going to go down and we're going to go around this next nail. Okay, here we go. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab the new one. Okay. And then go up to the next nail and go around that next nail. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab the new one. Okay. Come down to the next nail. Kind of push them down a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to weave this way. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab the new one. The top, we're going to wrap around that next nail. Always go to the right around the nail at the top. Okay. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab it. Hook it on the next nail. All right, now we've got all this is already woven in, so all you have to do is put it on the nails it needs to go to. So you can pull a little bit and you come down and you go around this next nail. Okay. Then we're going to weave it up here and put it on that next nail. And then we're going to put it around that next nail. And we're going to put it around that next nail. And this is the original little piece. We need to do something with that guy. Maybe I'll tape him over the back so he's out of the way. And then we want to kind of push our little pieces a little bit. Make sure they're nice and even. Seems like I don't do that for a little while. Once you get enough, then you go through it. Okay, do you see what's happening? Okay. So if you think about it, whatever you do it on this half, you want to do a mirror image on the bottom if you want your plaids to meet up. You can do it whatever way you want to do. That's what's so fun about this. You can practice and try all kinds of fun things. I found that if I go about halfway down with one color and then do the other half with another color, it ends up being more or less a buffalo check, if you know what that means, or big squares, you know, and it's really kind of fun to see what happens. You have something in mind and it may end up being totally different than what you expected. So I'm going to work on this a little bit, and I think we'll get to the middle. Maybe we'll put color, we'll add a color in the middle. We'll go down, I'll go down a few nails, and then we'll put in a color and then put maybe some white in the middle and put some color so you can see what happens to the lines as that happens. Okay, so I'll be right back after I've done a few more of these. Okay, I did a couple more rows and I decided we're going to try this orangey color. It's called anthurium, but it looks kind of like a rust. I don't know what it's coming over, like orange or something on the camera. But I decided we're going to join this color. So usually, but not always, people make a fringe on the ends of their scarf. So if you have a long scarf, on the ends you put fringe. Because I'm always joining my colors on this left end, you usually keep a strand long enough to be one of the fringe later on. So in this case, I'm just going to pull this out a little ways. I'm just going to clip off my white. And I'm going to bring in my orange. I'll call it orange. It's really red. All right, let's call it red. I get my ends together and I bring it up all the way up to the loom. Here, let me zoom in. Okay, we're going to take the two ends, get them close together. We're going to tie them together right down here. So what I usually do is I go around my thumb, pull them through, make sure it's knotted kind of over this way, because you got to pull it over the next nail, and then it's going to come back down this way. Okay, so it's going to continue that line that you were using on the next nail. So now that the red is on here, we're going to go back a little bit. All right, here, let's I don't need my scissors in the way. And now we're going to start again. So we're going to come all the way down here, go around that nail and hold it, grab my hook, and we're going to weave. Remember, you always start over, under, all the way down. And I grab the new one, pull it through, and it's going to end up around this next nail. And I'm going to come in a little more so we can watch. Okay, I'm holding on to this. This is the working end. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab the new one, pull it through, and it's going to come all the way down to here. Okay, let me get my camera going here. We're going to go around that nail. All right, and we're going to weave again. And like I said, if you can't remember, you look at where what was over is now under. Okay, each time you go, just double check. Okay, now we're going to come up here. We're going to go around the next nail and hang on to it. Over, under, and all the way across. Grab the working yarn, place it on that nail. Okay. All right. Now let's back up all the way up so we can see where we are. So we're going to grab this loop, hook it on the next nail. Just using my hands most of the time. Hook it on the next nail. Hook it on the next nail. Hook it on this nail. Okay, and then we're back to the beginning. So here we are. You see that? So I take the ends and just kind of flick them up and out of the way so they're not there. Okay, now we're going to do a little combing. Make sure everything's packed in nice. But now you can see kind of where it's going, huh? So I think what we're going to do, since my middle is really these two, because there's 10 this way and 10 that way, the middle's really in between these middle nails. I think I'll do white on those two nails, and then the red again. So we've got 1, 2, we're going to be doing 3 lines of red. Okay, and hopefully your yarn won't be a mess like mine. Okay, here we go. We're going to go around, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Pull it through. Okay, now we're going to put the white back on. So I'm going to give myself a little room here, about there. Okay, find the end of my white, it's right here, and we're going to hook that one on. Like I said, I like to come over a little ways to do my knot, because by the time I drag it back over there, I don't know if you can see how I'm doing it, but whatever way works for you, I tell you. Okay, now I'm going to drop it over that nail. Should I move in a little bit so you can see what's happening? Okay, I'm dropping it over that nail. And then the white is going to be on the path. Okay? And then we're going to do 2 of white. And then we're going to come back and do 3 of green. Red. And then we'll be back to the white again. Okay, so we're going to do white. Remember, we'll go around. Grab my... Oh, you can't even see where I am. Okay, let's back all the way up. All right, here we go. Okay guys, my memory card keeps filling up, so I had to skip a little bit of it, but I got my 3 lines of red here, and so now we're gonna hook on the white again and then do white until the end. So let's find my red. I'm going to trim that about there. We're not going to use that one anymore. And we're going to add the white. And back on. Here's my end. Oop. Hopefully I won't lose all of my video. It keeps just stopping in the middle of what I'm doing. Alright, so here we go. I don't want to bore you with all the weaving part, but I think it's really kind of interesting to watch it. Alright, so I tied on the white. I'm going to come down here, go around my nail, make sure I pull that back up. But you can see what a pretty little pattern it's making, huh? Alright, I'm going to work on the white, and when I get close to the end, I will come back and show you. Okay, I'm almost at the end, and I am going to be doing the last loop pass. I'll explain that in a minute. So we're going to go over this last nail, and let me zoom in a little bit for you. Move over here if I can do it. All right, if your hook isn't going to fit all the way down, that's fine. You can just do this in little chunks. So let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see what I'm talking about. You just find a spot along here where you can come in comfortably with your hook. Make sure you go under where you need to go. So you want under, over. So you just have to keep your eye on it. Make sure that you're doing the opposite of what happened here is what you're doing here. Okay. And you're going to come up here and grab this loop. Bring it down. Okay. And let's pull this loop a little bit. And now this is your working side. So I can kind of hang on to that. And we will, I'm sorry. Okay, now we're going to go from this end. It gets kind of hard this is real close to the end. It gets tighter and tighter. That's why you don't want to be super tight at the beginning either. So make sure, it's best not to go down, right now I can, but don't go down the middle or far away from this edge. Stay close to the edge so you can make sure that you're weaving correctly. Okay, so here we go. That's the last one. It's going to come all the way down here. And I have 3 nails left down here. These 2 nails are the loop. We're going to go over that one and over that one. All right. And now we're going to grab the loose end and start to pull it up. Okay, so that's nice. And now I'll take my comb and open it up because it's starting to look a little tight and I'm not sure where I am sometimes. All right. We need to go to this nail, the one to the right of the last one used. Okay, we're going to go around that, just like we've been doing. And then down at the bottom, you're going to find your loop you've been leaving kind of hanging there. Now, I'm going to separate this now because it's getting too close together and it makes it hard for the next line I'm going to do, the very last one. So we go around that nail. And somehow this got all weirded out around there. Okay, here we go. We're going to come over here. Pull this up. Make sure that one's on that nail. To the right of the last one. Right? Okay, see how tight it is so you can't really tell where we are. Make sure that we give us some space, because the last line that we do is going to seal off the whole project. Okay, now where's the end? Here's the end. I'm going to pull that down. All right, and open this one up. Okay, so we have almost completed our project here. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Now we only have one nail left, and if you follow the where it goes, it comes up here. There's only one nail left here. Here, I'll lift it up and see if you can see that. Can you see it? It's right there. Okay, one nail left. We didn't use it. Same for if you follow this line down. Okay, there's one nail here. Follow it up. Whoop, from here, you're going to follow it up. There's one nail here, all the way down to the final nail. Now, this is what we do to finish this off. Okay, what we need is a needle. That's a darning needle, yarn needle. Hard ones are better. Plastic is okay too if you need it. And we need, since we only have one line we're going to go through here, we're not going to pull a loop through. You could and then trim it off at the end, but what I'm going to do is take an estimate of how much yarn I need. So I'm going to take my yarn and go up here, go around that one nail. Doesn't have to be super exact. Go down around this nail. This is just measuring this piece of yarn, okay? Around that nail. Around this nail. And I usually come back just to make sure I have more than enough, because you might want fringe too. And I will go back about 3/4 of the way and clip it. And now this piece of string is what we're gonna weave through all the way to that last nail. So these are all the little pieces that we had left from when we added on our yarn. It'll become fringe later. All right, so we're going to take our yarn and we're going to put it through the needle, okay? And we're going to be weaving this piece all the way through the final line of this little weaving. So let's move in. I'll move it a little more so you can see where I am. Okay, what we need to do is you're going to be going between these last two lines right in here. You can see where you need to go when you lift one up. You're going to see that it's crossing over, like it's over this one, and it's also over this one. This one's over, that one's under. So you're going right in between with one strand. So here we go. We're going to take our needle and we need to go under the first one, over, under, over, under. See what I'm doing the opposite? There. I have to do the opposite and go right down the middle of that line here. So we're going to grab it and pull that strand through. And it goes around that last nail. Okay. There we go. All right. And now we're going to keep on going. So we go under, over. Use your fingers if you need to push on it to make sure you're getting it. If you want to, you could make a loop and pull it through with a crochet hook. You can just do a loop like you were doing with the rest of the weaving and go all the way to the end, and you only need one strand here, so you're not going to need both strands. But whatever way you can do that last one that works for you, do it that way. This works really well with this. I also use a what is it called? It's a long crochet hook with an eye on the end. It's for locker hooking. It's a locker hooking hook, I guess you could call it. Let me back up a little. That works really well too, because you can hook on your yarn, but it's a little bit longer to work with. So if you have a locker hooking, it's not really a hook, it's probably considered a needle. Okay, so when you get to the top of that line, you're going to go around that last nail there. But before you do that, you start weaving, because it gets really tight in here. In this case, I need to go under it, so you need to double check what way you need to go. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see that. Okay, can you see where I'm going? All right, pull that through. And you're going to go around this nail. So now all your nails are being used. All right, and make sure that you're following in the right spot and that you're going over and under like you should be doing. Okay. And if your weaving isn't all that even, you're going to go back later with your comb. Even it all up before you take it off the loom. It will shift and it will settle itself, but the more even it is before you take it off the loom, the better. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but I find that it does make it a little easier, because some yarns just sort of stick together and they don't want to move later on. So if you can move them now, then that's the way to go. Okay, we're almost, oops, are we missing out here? Okay, where am I? I'm right here. Okay. All right, this one I have to go under it, because this one went over it, so I need to go under, over, under. Make sure I'm in the right place here. Okay. Oh. All right, and then we're going to go. I know I'm getting in the light here, but oops. Try not to split your yarn. All right, let's back up a little. All right. So we're still going here and here. So when we get finished with this, we're going to tie it off on the corner. I do kind of a double knot thing just to make sure it doesn't come undone. And if you've done this right, all of these edges, all the nails, where all the loops are going around the nails, they're all locked in because you went over under. And you can pull it right off the loom and it won't unravel, which is awesome. You don't want it unraveling after all that work. Okay, this is the single nail here. We're going to go around that one. Now we're aiming for this guy. All right, we have to go under this one there. Okay, oops. I want to pull it out of my thing. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. All right, let me zoom back in. See if I can get up here so you can see where I am. See where I am? All right, here and under. Okay, that's the end. Oops. All right, so what I end up doing is I'll go through here, then I'll go through my loop 2 times because for some reason it'll untie itself, and I don't want to do that. So I've gone through twice. It makes a knot. Let's see. Did it come undone again? It wants to. We don't want that to come undone. No, that was it. So that made a nice little knot. And now we are, yay, finished. So we can take this little hook, this little needle off. And take your little guys. And we're going to take some time and kind of comb it. Right now it looks really pretty good. When you're looking at it from a distance, you can see if these start to warp because you've pushed them down too far. Just make sure that they're nice straight lines. That one's a little over. We're going to just kind of shove them over a little bit. Not too hard, just kind of work it. You'll know when you're done. You'll see that it all of a sudden it just seems like it's right. I think I did pretty good here. Okay. And it's really hard to see that last line going through it, isn't it? Let's see, this looks a little off here. Let's work on that one. All right. There and there and there. And then these are kind of spread apart too, so I can just bring those over a little bit. You can get little combs from like the dollar store, you know, those pick combs. They work pretty good too. This comb I use a lot on my larger looms because it's nice and it's kind of curved. It's been my best friend. Okay, how's that? All right, now we're going to take it off of the loom. We're going to put this over here, put this over here, and we will take it off the loom. All right. All of these little pins, oops, they're all looped. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they shouldn't fall apart. First thing you need to do is come over to this beginning one and tie that off, because right now it's just tied to the nail and we need to get it off of here. Okay, see, and it's kind of loose on the corner. Let's see if I can come in and see it's still kind of loose. So we need to make sure that we've tied that off. We can do it with a hook if we want. Let's see, I'll just come in here, grab it. Pull it through. And kind of like I did the other end, like you're tying a knot, go through it once, but then I go through it one more time. That's just my little trick to make sure it turns into a knot there. Okay, now that won't come off. Now all you have to do, you come up from behind. Here, let me back up a little more. All right. You kind of push it up with your fingers a little bit. Helps. Here, like this. See? Just push it up a little with your nails and your fingers. Makes it a little easier. You don't have to do that, but I found it helps you not snag the yarn as much. All right. Are we high enough up? What's going on with my... Okay, here we go. So we're going to start on one end and you start to pull it off. You can push it or pull it. The first ones are a little tough. So make sure you're not splitting your yarn or snagging it. But they just come off. Here, let's move that out of the way. Okay. And we're just going to pull it off like that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to set it back down. And voila. There's your scarf. See, it got kind of a little snagged right here when I pulled it off. But you know when you kind of go like this at an angle, everything seems to settle for you. It'll settle eventually. That's why you need to be really careful with your pulling it off of there. But it's not going to unravel. So there you are. Look at this cute little scarf or whatever you're going to make out of it. See, that one sort of snagged too. It'll work. We'll figure it out. There. It'll go back in. There. So now you can see kind of, this is on the inside. Now think if it was on the nails, it would be up a little higher like that. So we did lose a little bit, huh? We lost, oh, a little bit, about an inch or so here. And then over on this end, we lost about an inch or so there too. Maybe this is closer to 1.5 inches. But there you go. You have completed your first continuous strand weaving on a small teacher's loom. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I know I'm not getting a lot of videos out, but I'm trying. So if you give me good comments on below on what you'd like to see, I will do what I can to make you more videos so that you can learn something new or just have a little help with what you're doing now. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.